Also, I had a bit of a false start this morning. Oh my goodness, if you can let me know if you can hear me, if I'm live, and who's here this morning. So, good morning, tribe, and welcome on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in Johannesburg, cloudless, blue skies, and it's really a sense of gratitude. So I really want to start this morning with focusing on gratitude. So gratitude for this beautiful tribe. Um, so grateful for everybody that's here this morning. So grateful for this tribe, and I want you just to drop into your gratitude this morning. The gratitude for how far we've come since lockdown, how we've done these Facebook Lives together, you've shown up, you've supported. You are what makes the tribe really vibrate and come together in a sense of community. I have so much gratitude this morning, and I just really wanted to start with that and say, I'm grateful for every one of you. I'm so grateful for this journey. And I'm grateful for the questions that you send, for the coaching, for the openness, for it all. I'm grateful for the pain, the happiness, the joy, the inspiration. And I'm really just feeling it all this morning. So I just wanted to share with you and see who's here. Oh, morning, Mon and Janet. Oh, it's always so good to see you, Janet. And I know that you're always going to be here. My lovely Flick, hello. And thank you that you can, for just telling me that I am loud and clear. And Fran, hi Fran, good to see you here this morning. So before we get started on some of the beautiful questions, the really um, questions that you have sent to me, before I start getting there this morning, I want to ask you all a question, and I want to ask you, who helped you? Think back over your life, your career. Who were the people that helped you develop and made an impact on you as you were growing up, throughout your career and where you are today? I'm just going to give you a couple of moments to reflect on that, while I just click in here and just see you all. Thank you. Oh. And then my next question to you is, if you've got that person or those people, maybe there's 2 or 3, and you can do this after, you can journal about this later. What did they do? And how did they make you feel? And if you can just put it in the comment box here this morning, how did they make you feel? Mm. Okay. So if you want to share with me the feelings that came up from this exercise, that would be really great. And then I'm going to leave you with a final question. Whose list will you be on? So let me drop into the first question that I got, and that is about the pause. I got this question about how do I use the pause effectively? What does it really mean to pause? When do I pause? I don't seem to be able to get a handle on it. Can you give an example? So the pause, when we talk about the pause, when I talk about the pause, it's so powerful. It's how we start to strengthen our choice muscle. So for a lot of us, and I know for me, what used to happen was I would leave work very stressed. And I had the intention that I wasn't going to drink this day. But I would have had a really, really difficult day, or things happen as they always do. And on my way home, I would think, oh, I would find myself sometimes in front of the bottle store. And it was like there was this override, and the next thing I had the wine in my car, and I was pouring myself a glass of wine when I got home. Sometimes I was even swigging the wine on the way home. Now, if you look at that scenario, how would a pause help? And I say to my clients, listen, when you find yourself on the way to the bottle store and that thought comes in, maybe a glass of wine, it's a whispering thought, pay attention, pull off the road, pause. It is so important to just give yourself that pause and then ask yourself, what am I thinking? What am I wanting that wine to provide for me? And usually it is like, I want to just relax. I just want to forget the day. I just want to numb out. That's what I do. Um, but in that moment of the pause and of analyzing the thoughts that come up, you can also then really paint the whole story. So you can ask yourself, okay, so I'm going to have that glass of wine to relax. What else is going to happen? I'm going to maybe feel better in the now, but tomorrow I'm going to feel worse. And I'm going to eat what I didn't want to eat. And I'm going to not be motivated to do the things that I want to do. So really, do I really want that glass of wine? And then just sit with the feelings of it. And that is where the power really comes. And there's two aspects here. The one aspect is that we try and ignore those little whispers in our ear or in our mind. Maybe a glass of wine now would be great. Maybe I should just have that glass of wine. Why not? And when we hear those whispers, we almost get like frightened of them, and we try and just like push them away. Like, no, I'm not even going to go there. Why am I thinking this? This is crazy. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink. And that is when we go into our willpower and we try and white knuckle it. But the problem with these thoughts is that they want to be heard. They want to be seen. So the more we push them away, the louder and louder and louder they get. And then we are in front of that bottle store, buying the bottle of wine, or we're at home pouring the drink. So I'm going to invite you to listen to those whispers and listen to them with curiosity, not with judgment. There's a difference well, that's a curious thought. A drink would be nice right now. Why am I thinking that? Versus, I shouldn't be thinking that. Or, why am I thinking that? My gosh, what's wrong with me? I shouldn't be thinking that. When we put on our curious hat and we just say, what is really going on here? What am I really thinking? What am I really wanting? What is my true desire? And often the answer will come, I want to relax. I just want to, maybe I'm hungry and I just need to eat something. I just need to have a break. I need to have a time out. And then you can choose, okay, so maybe what I really need is to just go for a walk. Or I need to just go home and have some quiet time, do a meditation, or drink a cup of tea, or just have a nap. And then you choose. And I want to always invite you that it's much, much better for our brain to have a choice. Because if we just say you can't, the rebel in us is going to say, but that's a hard line in sand. You know, you can't. No, 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 no. I want. And the want gets louder and louder. But when we start to exercise that choice muscle of, I could drink and I could not. So if I do drink, this is what is going to happen. And if I don't, then this is what's going to happen. And slowly but surely, we start to retrain our thoughts around our relationship with alcohol. And we almost automatically will go into the thought when it comes up, maybe a drink right now would be good, to actually know what I really want to do right now is just go for a walk. I want to have some time out. and you start to realize that alcohol does not make things better, and you have the power and you are in the power seat. So that's what the pause gives us. It gives us that moment to get into our power seat, analyze what's going on for us, and then make a choice, a considered choice. So, my dear tribe, I want you just to practice that. You can practice it with so many things. It's not just alcohol. It's the pause when we want to just eat the chocolate, that pause when we want to go and buy a packet of crisps. And I actually did this the other day, so that's why I'm saying I went and I was like in front of the crisps, and I thought, oh, crisps right now would be really good. And then, like, why? What am I actually wanting from these crisps? So this is a skill that will start to really infiltrate and weave itself in all areas of your life. And what it does, when you learn the skill of the pause, is that it helps you to develop a very strong choice muscle. So remember, the pause is your greatest ally. I know for a lot of us, we're scared to go there initially. We think that if we allow the thoughts, then it's going to make us want to drink more. So ironically, the opposite happens. When we actually allow the thoughts and we analyze them, we want to drink less. So uncover them, let the thoughts rise up, look at them with curiosity, let them go, make powerful choices. And it'll be amazing. I would love to see what some of you have said here. Hi, Merlene. Yeah, Natasha, I feel like that. 5 o'clock wine time, hear the wine witch after a day of not wanting to drink. And that's all it is. It's a whisper, it's a thought. Have a look at it, take a pause. Yeah, oh, Flick, your parents, they were the ones who helped you. Yeah, they instill gratitude, especially for the little things. How beautiful. How beautiful. Okay, so I hope that that gave you all a bit of more clarity around the pause, the power of the pause, and that you are going to embrace it more and more every day in all ways in your life. So the second question I had was quite a delightful one. So let me just go there. I would like a suggestion on how to handle a situation at home. My husband is a normal, very, very responsible drinker. My stepdaughters are 18 and 21. When they come to us on a Friday, my husband opens a bottle of red and they start tasting and discussing. The girls stop at 1 or 2, my husband maybe 3. I then open a drink and drink a whole bottle of wine myself. How do I handle the feeling of being the naughty left out child? Drink soda when the 3 of them are having a wine tasting. Okay, so that is a beautiful one. How do I handle that feeling of being naughty? The left out child. And I have to drink soda when the 3 of them are having a wine tasting. So one of my favorite tools, apart from the pause, is to really look at the think, feel, act cycle and ask ourselves the question of, well, how do I want to feel? Do I want to feel like the naughty left out child? Or do I want to feel powerful in this? Do I want to feel powerful? There's a sense of when you're drinking the soda that it's a punishment. So when we get into that kind of restrictive drinking, think about a child when we make them feel naughty and we put them in the naughty corner and we ignore them. They just want to be more heard. They just want to act out even more. So when you're having those thoughts, you are going to want to act out more. So there's a beautiful talk that David Wallace Foster gave to a college, and I think it was the Kenyan college in 2005, and he called it like water. And he spoke about the importance of not what to think, but how to think. And how do we think? And why is it important to get that skill? So I want you to notice here, when you look at that story of there's your husband and your stepdaughters, and they're having a really good time, and they are drinking and tasting the wine, and you feeling left out, and you think that you are the naughty child, and the rebelliousness in you gets stirred up. I want you to retell yourself that story, but from a point of power, from the point that you are the hero in that story. So how would your heroine act in that story? What about if it's quite okay for them to have that connection, and you look at your husband and your stepdaughters having that connection, bonding and feeling love and openness to it, versus it's punishing for me, and and I'm left out because I can't take part in it. What could be some thoughts that you could really bring into your heart that would make it okay for you, that would tie in with the reason why you actually really want to stop drinking? And that is really, really important, because the big stick never helps in change. And I talk a lot about this neuroscience um, workshop and course that I'm on with some of the top neuroscientists and researchers currently in the world today, talking to us about how does change happen, and how do people really change, and how do we help people change. And there's always been the thought that the big stick is what's going to help, but actually it's not. And the big stick or punishment will help in the moment. It'll give you a quick and easy fix. If you just make yourself feel bad or worse about something, you might have the initial change, but long term, it won't be sustainable. And that is why I also started today with a much lighter note of gratitude, of who are the people that helped you, whose list are you going to be on. So we want to go into the vision of, who do you really want to be in this life? What story do you really want to tell? And what is your hero's journey? So for a lot of us, our hero's journey is really learning how to be okay with ourselves, learning how to feel our emotions, learning how to think, not what to think, how to think, learning what is our true inner power, and then paying it forward. So in this scenario that you just gave me, where you are focusing so much on being left out, being the rebel, and then acting out and just drinking, how is that really contributing for you to your wellness, to your sense of joy? And how could you bring that sense of joy into that situation without drinking? A soda, what kind of drink could you really reward yourself with that would make you feel wonderful and joy-filled? A lot of, including me in the beginning, I used to really think that I was fine with not drinking. I'm fine not to drink. But what I was really not looking at was, being fine is not enough. Well, how can I actually access my joy in not drinking? What kind of feelings would I need to feel by not drinking? So if there's a feeling of such sense of relief that I'm not the one drinking, and that I can really enjoy my glass of soda, it's just it's a switch. It's a reframe. And these are beautiful opportunities for us to start reframing. And then the question is, why do you want to stop drinking? What is your motivation? What is your long-term vision? What would your life look like in 10, 15 years if it was a fantastic, and I'm saying your life, not your career or your life, the whole of you. What do you really want it to look like in 15 years? How can you bring that vision into the now and make choices from that vision? So I'm not sure if that answered your question, but I hope it's given you some ideas on how to approach it. Write the story as you are the heroine in that. How would you want your heroine to be in that story? Okay, so I'm flip-flopping here. I'm going back to my questions. The third question I had was another very interesting one. And it actually came from one of my beautiful clients whose psychologist sent her this question and asked her to ask herself this question when she decided to stop therapy and really embrace the journey of World Without Wine. So her therapist did say the brilliant thing about a group is its universality. It makes you feel connected and joined by something in common that you can identify with. And that's really true. And that's really what our tribe does give us. It gives us a sense of belonging, a connection. We understand each other. It's beautiful. And her therapist said that she's so happy that she's taken this move. And then she said that she wants to pose a question that was asked often to people who want to stop smoking. And in our case, people who want to stop drinking. So what are you waiting for to happen before you're going to change? What are you waiting for to happen before you're going to change? Are you waiting for a diagnosis of cirrhosis of the liver? Are you waiting to lose your job? Are you waiting for your husband to leave you? Are you waiting for a huge catastrophe and you think that will make me change? Because right now I'm still functioning. So what are you waiting for to happen before you're going to change? And then she says it's all about loss. And it's always about losing something. So when we're going to make a change, we often do focus on the loss. So I want to just take you back into how do people change and what they have found, and this comes from Richard Boyatzis, who wrote the book Helping People Change. He co-authored it. But he did such a beautiful session with us in our coaching workshop the other night, where he really spoke about this after 30 years of research into how people change. The one thing that won't help us change is the big stick or fear. We think it will. And they did the study of where they looked at people who'd had a heart attack, who'd had a triple bypass, and afterwards were given a protocol of medication and exercise and things that they needed to do to kind of to keep themselves from having another incident or from dying. So that was a big thing that the nurses and doctors would tell the patients. This is the medication. You've got to be on this medication for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you're going to die. You're going to have to start exercising. Otherwise, you're going to die. And you would think that that would induce the change. It doesn't. What they noticed is that they after the study, that 50% of people don't follow the protocol. They even forget to take their medication every day. It's kind of because the negative of I'm going to die is so heavy that they don't want to go there. They suppress it and they don't change and they don't make the behavior change. And they've seen this also with addictions. He was saying with people who get diagnosed with diabetes, how many people really do make a change when they get told, you better stop smoking or you're going to get emphysema or you're going to get gangrene. Or so what allows us to make a lasting and sustainable change? And interestingly, it is that vision. It is that when we buy into the gift and we buy into the hope and the joy of what it will bring us, when we focus more on, if we look at our thoughts around the loss and we change them into thoughts of gifts, there's no loss, there's only gifts. Let's look how we can reframe. When we move from the seat of power of choice, there's much more sustainable change. So that for me was really insightful. And if I look back on my life and on my journey with World Without Wine, I did have a vision and I have a vision. And I really want, my vision is for all of you, when you see me grow, and as you've seen me over the years, that I create a sense of hope for you, of what can be and of how you can evolve. I was at the bottom. I drank half a bottle of vodka many nights. I drank it even on my way home. And I want to really share that with you because I want you to know that a different future, a different life is so possible. Just focus on the gifts. Focus on your choice muscle. It's your choice. Focus on who you want to be, how that beautiful, ideal life, that fantastic life is going to look, and strive towards that and get away from the restrictive cycle, the binge and restrict, the deprivation, and really just step into this beautiful world where there's so much opportunity, that everything is for us to learn and evolve. That is when our brain renews. So the important part is renewal. Renewal versus boredom, the same thing. If this change is going to be sustainable, we've got to bring in renewal. That was another part that Richard really spoke to us about, the importance of renewal, and renewal daily and in 15-minute increments throughout the day, that you take time for renewal. So what does that look like? It might just look like feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, taking a break from your desk, going for a walk, sitting outside, feeling the sun on your face, noticing. I remember Johan saying to me, our cat just wants to be stroked. So why don't you just stroke Charlie? Just take time and just stroke him and be with him. And when I do that now, I have a moment. I have a moment with my cat, and that is precious. So those are the kind of moments and renewal moments I want you to bring into your day. And so that question, I've taken a really a long way to answer it. And it's really not, rather from the question of what are you waiting for to happen before you're going to change, rather just say to yourself, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? On whose list do I want to be? And then I want to go to the final question today, and that is, how can I actively start journaling when I have an absolute desire and yet seem to actively resist? Such a burning desire and fear at the same time. How do I cultivate the desire? So Eleanor Roosevelt said that friendship with oneself is all important, because without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. So journaling is about cultivating a friendship with yourself, a true friendship. So what is the fear? And what is holding you back from journaling, from really creating this friendship with yourself? And again, it's very important to track the thoughts. What are the thoughts that are coming up about journaling? Why do you want to journal? Is there a I should, and if I don't, then I'm not going to change, or it's going to be bad? Or usually when we have resistance, it has something to do with shoulds. And so I want you just to drop into that. My beautiful friend who asked this question, what is it that you want from journaling? How can journaling really enhance your experience of yourself, help you get to know yourself so much better? What is the fear all about? I know for a long time I had the fear that other people would read my journal, and then I wasn't really very honest in my journaling. And then eventually I just like sort of you know what, if anybody wants to read it, they're welcome. They're probably not going to make sense of it. But the most important part is when we start journaling, maybe it's going to help you to have some prompts, just to journal around things like, what does a beautiful day look like for me? And then just journal around these prompts. That's a beautiful prompt. What does a true desire look like for me? And your question has to do with desire. And how do we cultivate true desire? I'm just laughing here at myself because I had a thought, and you know how I sometimes go off on a tangent about things. But the desire, the true desire, how do we cultivate true desires in our life, lasting desires, desires that are healthy desires? And what came to my mind was how I love a quick fix, and I love something that will take me into a good space very quickly. So for some of us, it might be running, just going for a run. For me, just going for just dancing, or it feels so good. However, somehow the aerobic exercise doesn't last as long or give us the lasting results that a strengthening exercise does. So when I was challenged by my functional medicine coach to take up strength work, I was like, oh, it's so boring. I can't. And she was like, yeah, but if you do, this is going to be the reward. The mitochondria in your cells are going to ignite. You're going to start getting a slow burn of energy. It's amazing when you embrace that. So I've got a personal trainer now, and we started on a slow journey of strength training. And slowly I'm starting to really get it. As I was doing some weights the other day, there was this heat inside of me that started to come. And I really started to feel what heat inside my body felt like. And the lasting effect of those endorphins that get released, they get released very slowly, but they sustain through the day. It's like a sustained energy. Whereas often with aerobic exercise, you can be quite depleted quite quickly afterwards. So cultivating desire, if you use that as an analogy, it's like the strength training, where we look at how we cultivate a habit or something we want to do that's going to give us the slow burn, the long results. And journaling is really one of these. We resist it in the beginning because we think we don't have the time, or who's going to read it, or it feels like, do I really have to, and why? And the actual result and the reward of the journaling is much slower. It starts to come over maybe a couple of weeks of journaling where we are in the flow of it, where we get the slow burn, and we've really cultivated that muscle and that choice to, we really want to journal every day. And if we don't, we feel like something is not right. Journaling is a beautiful way for us to create a friendship with ourselves. So see your journal as your friend, somebody that you can confide in, you can be totally you with, and you can really look at some of those thoughts that are recurring, that the patterns that keep us trapped in our same behaviors, and start looking, my dear tribe, to start looking at how can we cultivate these sustainable desires that will keep us going from strength to strength, that will help us grow, that will help us evolve, versus take away our motivation. The desire for alcohol and then drinking it will give us an instant reward, but it will take away our motivation to evolve, to grow, and to make changes in our life. It will keep us stuck. So that is going to be me for today. And I had another beautiful question about the festive season and you know, how to hack it and what should we do. And I think I'm going to use that for my next Facebook Live. I'm really going to talk about how to negotiate and navigate the festive season, because I've been here quite a while already today. So let me go through and see some of your comments here. Yeah. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Justine. So good to see you. Um, let me know what you thought about my answers. Yeah, don't wait for rock bottom. Get off the slippery slope now. Hello. Yeah, looking so forward to see you all at the Zoom cafe later. Yay. And I saw a question from Roberta, and it's so good to see you here, Roberta, a functional medicine coach. So I go to an integrative doctor, and he works with a coach, and she then coaches one into how to bring in the habits of that he kind of suggests that you do if you want to create a healthy body, healthy mind, and it works together. So a functional medicine coach is a great way to really get on board, to get coaching around diet, nutrition, health, and how to make that sustainable. Oh, Marlene, always so good to see you. Yeah, so let's have this, let's embrace the slow burn, everybody. Let's embrace this day. Let's embrace our gratitude for each other, for this tribe, and let's just have the best, create a life of such beautiful well-being that we want to grow into rather than escape from. So thank you everybody for being here. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your questions, and I'm so grateful to be part of this tribe. I love you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time where we're going to talk about how to negotiate the festive season. Lots of love. Bye.